like we're going to be about 3 minutes late. About 3 minutes late today. 3 minutes. So we'll see how that all works out. And let's check our audio. Make sure that that's okay. And this is an emergency broadcast. Emergency broadcast. And the lovely Bree is in the house. Lance is in the house. Kyle was in the house. Okay, and let's see here. Probably not. Okay, let's see. Movado you have is nice. To keep that for a bit. Craig, the email has been sent. Okay. Okay, I'm probably going to keep the Movado. I don't think that I'll ever find another 18 karat gold watch for $4 again in my life. There you go. Let's see. Probably not. Okay. Good evening, Lady Browner. You are early today. Okay, and let's see. Hot weather today in Maryland. Absolutely, it is. Okay, this is an emergency broadcast, folks. This is part 2, just because I didn't have time to make a new thumbnail and so forth. And there's the stunner on the bench. The stunner is on the bench for this show, for this emergency broadcast. This is an intervention broadcast. I had a couple of marginal comments. I'm not going to call them stupid comments this time. There's the 231. I'm not going to call them stupid comments this time, but a couple of marginal comments that I'm going to address. And there's Briefit Dance. There's her website, briefitdance.com. She's in the chat. Okay, so there are issues, folks. There are issues. And some of the comments were regarding my comments regarding the virus, and that people need to kind of take personal responsibility, and if they're at high risk, they need to figure out how to protect themselves. And the issue is, this is the issue. This is the issue that we have. All the data right now shows that the lockdowns, the masks, all these intervention techniques that the government put in place, that none of them really did anything. That if you look at the data at states that didn't do lockdowns, states that did, countries that did, countries that didn't, the data's all over the place. Some did good, some did bad, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, okay? And so there's no indication that that we really did anything to mitigate it. Basically, this thing just spread through New York like wildfire, killed a whole bunch of people because, of course, they did the stupid thing of taking infected people and returning them back to the nursing homes where everybody was at risk, and, of course, everybody got it, and a lot of people died. And so it was a total disaster. This whole government intervention, which is often the case, has been a total disaster. They've clearly done a lot more harm than good, with all the harm they've done to small businesses and so on and so forth, and other issues that they've created because of their government-ordered lockdowns and other mandates. And so it's been a total disaster. And my message is, and has always been consistent, folks, it's about personal responsibility. If individuals make a bunch of poor decisions throughout their life, they eat the wrong foods, they smoke, they drink, they have sex with a lot of different people so they get STDs. They make these stupid decisions, right? And then later in life, sometimes these decisions come back to kick them in the you-know-what. And so I'm sorry if you're obese and you've got diabetes and you've got heart problems and so on and so forth, and this thing is going to attack you and might kill you. I'm sorry about that. But hey, sometimes you got to take personal responsibility and realize that you might have put yourself in that position. Now, maybe you've got type 1 diabetes that is hereditary and so on, right? And maybe you've done everything right, and maybe you're going to fall because of this thing, right? Well, viruses, this is what they do. They move through populations and they kill a certain number of people, and that's the way it works. The last thing we should do as a society is shoot ourselves in the foot when we're trying to fight something like this, shut down commerce, shut down all businesses and so on and so forth, cripple yourselves, cause people to be under stress. When people are under stress, guess what? Their immune system is weaker. We've done the opposite of what we should have done on this whole thing. the absolute opposite. What we should have done was try to calm people. We should have said, hey, listen, the odds of you getting this thing and having a bad outcome are very low. If you're in certain risk groups, you should take care of yourself, but other people should just go about their life. Don't worry, there's nothing to see here, right? And that's what the government used to do back in the day. They used to not want to panic people. They used to not give them the bad news. Even if there was bad news, they would shield them from it, right? Here we're doing the opposite. We're hyping it up, and we're trying to scare the bejesus out of people, because of course it's an election year and so on and so forth. But it's totally insane, total insanity, folks. Take personal responsibility, do the right thing, make the right decisions, and guess what? Over time, it'll really benefit you. It'll really benefit you. My guess is the lovely Brianna is choosing to eat right and exercise and take care of herself. My guess is she's making those choices. And it's not a bad idea. There's the stunner, by the way, on the bench. Stunner is on the bench. The 18 karat gold stunner, and it's running. It doesn't care. That second hand's just moving along, doing what it's supposed to do, doing its work. Okay, no chipmunk voice. I've been doing a double boot. For every broadcast, I've been doing a double boot. So far, that's been avoiding the chipmunk voice. The poor TGV Kamala Harris is a big mistake. I'm partially black, and we don't trust her one iota. Okay. Kyle says, yeah, what a joke. They've all been bought off anyway. David Williams says, hi, Craig and all. And David says, how is Vegas? Kyle says to David, how is Vegas? And he says it's going. Okay. I wonder what that means. Is everything open? Do tell. All the reason why I'm getting off of sugar and bread, and I'm cutting out snacks and prepackaged foods. I don't blame you. Eat whole foods. Eat whole foods. And Kyle says bread is tough to give up. I hear you, but a good baked potato is pretty freaking good and a much better choice. Let's see. Tim says, Craig, governments are concerned that hospitals will be overwhelmed. Yeah, but they did nothing to stop that. Look at New York. Some hospitals were at capacity or maybe a little over capacity and so on. It is what it is. The virus is going to do what it's going to do. You could make legitimate arguments that the lockdowns increased the spread because it put people at home in close proximity to each other and they all infected each other. The data is very sketchy as to whether or not the lockdowns helped slow the spread at all. As a matter of fact, there's a fair amount of evidence that shows that they did the opposite. So as is often the case, good intentions, don't mean anything. The outcome is what matters, not the intentions. And a lot of times government has great intentions, right, about what they want to do, but the outcome is the opposite. And so, they did a terrible job. And, all these resources, think about all the resources they put into this. And look at what Sweden did. Sweden, per capita, has less deaths than New York City. I think Sweden had let's check this. We'll check it right now. Sweden deaths. Let's see. COVID deaths. Okay, let's check this right now. Okay, so this is saying that Sweden had 5,770 deaths, okay? You with me now? Stay with me here. Let's see how many New York had. New York City COVID deaths. Let's see what it says here. Okay. New York City, it says here 32... Oh, I'm sorry. The city is 23,000 deaths. Okay, 23,000 deaths. All right? And the city has, what, 10 million people? all right, roughly. About the same population as Sweden, right? Does anybody know the population of Sweden? Okay. Sweden. Let's see what the population is of Sweden. Population 10 million. Okay. So Sweden's about the same population as New York, right? And look at the difference in the death totals. Sweden didn't do a lockdown, right? All they did was they allowed their people to go about their business. They warned them that there was an epidemic around, and certain people took precautions, and, you know, they went about their life, okay? Just like it was a flu season. And that's what we should have done, all right? And these idiots held out Sweden as being a total fail because they had a peak in deaths, and then, you know, in other words, they went for herd immunity, right? Well, that's basically what happened in New York. They got herd immunity because so many people got it, because of the subways and everything. So many people got it that they basically ended up with herd immunity, and they had 23,000 deaths, right? So you tell me, Sweden didn't lock down, New York did. Now, they locked down late. New York did everything wrong, right? But they certainly locked down, and I think they're still locked down. So, and now they say, oh, the death toll's very low in New York. They did a great job. The infection level's very low and everything. Yeah, because everybody's died. They're all dead. Everybody that was going to die from it has passed. It's gone through there. It's like a fire, right? It burned through, and it's moved on elsewhere. That's the way these things work. So the data doesn't support the lunacy out there, okay? I hate to say this, but the data does not support the lunacy. So there you go. Let's see. Stig's in the house. Craig, this ought to be on the front of the Washington Post. This is pure gospel, but people pay it no mind. Lance sent a photo of beautiful vintage Rolex Ocean Petrol. We'll look at it. Elizabeth Warren is identifying as Kamala Harris, and she accepts the VP nomination. There you go. Mustang Will's in the house. Deport TGV says Craig explodes. Death per 1 million in Sweden, 571. New York, 1689. Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself. That kind of speaks for itself. Yeah, and they went on business as usual, right? All right, let's check the email. Let's check the email. And by the way, viruses, what they do, the purpose of them is they cull out the infirm, the people that are not healthy. I mean, that's what they do. They go through populations, and the weak perish and the strong survive. And that's how the population continues to evolve and become stronger and more resistant to viruses and so on. Those that succumb, they're out of the way, right? I mean, it's a culling process. You'd never hear anybody in the media say that, right? That's a horrible thing to say. Horrible thing to say. But that's the way they work. That's the way they operate. They are what they are. They're going to do what they're going to do. And the government is not real good at dealing with it. The government's not good at very many things, it turns out. It turns out they're kind of a fail. Let's see. I think you're fine holding on to the gold Movado Lance, great dress watch for $40. See, it's immaterial what he paid for it. We talked about this the other day. That's immaterial. What's material is the value of it now, and if it makes sense to leave that money in that particular watch. That's what's material now. Now here's an Omega. That is a good-looking watch for $598, free shipping. Let's check it out. That's a nice-looking piece. Nice-looking piece. Nice-looking piece. I wonder if Lady Bree is still in the chat. what she thinks about that. I doubt it has a screw-down crown. So that could be an issue. But it's certainly a nice piece. Certainly not a hateful piece. Go ahead and add that to the watch list just for fun. Just add it to the my watch list. My watch list of watches. All right, let's go back to the email and see what else we've got here. That was from Kyle. I'm sorry. I thought that was from Lance. That was from Kyle, that last one. Here is the Datejust. That's cool looking. I do like the look of some of the dials, some of the vintage dials. I do think they're kind of cool. That would be a cool piece. Absolutely. I think it's neat. Wonder what the price is. Let us know, Lance, what the price of that puppy is. Let's see. David says a better comparison is with South Dakota and other states. Okay, so what's happened there? Well, see, South Dakota is not very densely populated, right? So that could be an issue there, kind of apples to oranges. And New York, it's a little bit apples to oranges, New York City to Sweden. Obviously, New York City is much more densely populated, but still, it's not even a close call. The difference is so extreme that I think it kind of shows that you can't really mitigate this thing. This thing is going to do what it's going to do. All you can really do, if you're smart, like Florida did, is try to protect those who are most at risk. And I think they did a fantastic job of that. And the opposite of what New York did, right? New York took people that were ill and put them right in with the people that are most at risk. I mean, they like seeded the nursing homes with the virus. I mean, that was like not a good play. So there you go. Let's see. The experience here is it got into aged care homes with sick and elderly, and many of the elderly are dying. That's right. That's exactly what they did in New York. That's correct. Lance is in and New Jersey and Connecticut. Jaden, it's a great watch and looks very dressy on wrist. Okay. The poor TGV, to be honest, Kamala only identifies as black when she's pandering to the urban vote. The rest of the time she identifies as Indian. Do not feather. Okay. Brett says Omega equals no. Okay, there you go. He's going to pass on the Omega, the whole Omega thing. Our WAG says, Craig, you're 100% correct about the coronavirus. A lot of the economy lockdown was to hurt Trump and the economy. Very sad that a political party would destroy the economy to win a POTUS election. That's a very good point. That's right. These people have a lot of blood on their hands. They really do. Brett is in the house. Rolex equals yes. There you go. And Kyle Jet says, I thought the Omega was good for the price, but Rolex would be better. Yes, absolutely. Good point. But, you know, Omegas are not slouch watches. I had a Seamaster 120 that gave me good service for several years. So, and it sold well. I got a pretty decent price for it when I sold it. The Cheetown's in the house. It's not apples to oranges. It's big apples to oranges. There you go. That Rolex sold for $8,200. Okay, got you. The more I see Omega, the more I appreciate it. I hear you. I think they make some decent pieces. I really do. I do. So anyway, my buddy, one of the reasons I was a couple minutes late, my buddy calls me. Same guy, always calls me before the showtime, right? All worked up about his guitar and the humidity. You know, he has this case for it, and you can buy this little thing that you put inside the case that keeps the humidity consistent. And he's like, well, but if I keep it in the case, I'm not likely to play it, and blah, blah, blah. And we had a conversation with Kent. I patched him in on the phone on another day. We've had this conversation twice, right? And Kent said he doesn't worry about the humidity. He just plays his guitar. He says it's on the guitar stand. He plays it pretty much every day, and he doesn't worry about the humidity. And then my buddy says, well, in all the forums they talk about, you have to keep the humidity between such and such and such and such, and it can ruin the guitar and all this, blah blah blah. Yeah. It sounds like the stuff that goes on in the watch forums, right? I think there's a bunch of sketchy information hanging around out there about a lot of different topics. So yeah, I'm not so sure about all that nonsense. So there's a bunch of nonsense out there, folks. And I did also have a follow-up comment about the two-factor authentication. And he said that when you sign up for those two-factor authentications, you get a recovery code or whatever. See, I don't remember seeing those recovery codes each time I sign up a service to the Google Authenticator. And he said that you should have been making note of those. So I didn't make note of those, so I don't know. So see, here's the thing. I think if you lose access to the Authenticator, I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. But I think they still allow you to recover your account. I think there's still a procedure you can go through to work around the two-factor authentication and still recover your account. So my point I was making the other day is, if that's the case, what's to stop a hacker from doing the same thing, from claiming that they lost the two-factor authenticator and working around it and still getting into your account? That was kind of the question that I was raising, okay? So there you go. And some people that I've heard, some, quote, experts, have said to make sure that you do not have your telephone number associated with a given account, because what they will do sometimes, if you've lost access to your two-factor authenticator, what they'll do is they'll let you recover your account via a text message if they have your phone number on file with them, right? Which defeats the whole purpose, in my opinion, of having the two-factor authentication in the first place. That we're trying to get around using the cell phone because people can SIM swap your phone, right? So if that's the case, if they do that, that could get around it. So I'm just thinking out loud on this thing. I was just thinking about this the other day, and it's the problem is, anytime an account can be recovered, a hacker can recover it too, is my point, if they're good enough, I would think. So there's that. The more I see Omega, the more, okay, I already read that. The Rolex was a nice piece, yes. Interview with Governor Noem discusses SD's approach, South Dakota's approach, no lockdown of evening. Well, give us the quick summary. We can't watch the video, but David, give us the quick, the quick summary of what the deal is there. Trashy Larry says, evening, Craig, Lance, Bree, and Carlos. Okay. I don't see Carlos in here yet, but maybe he will be. Deport TGV. Craig, a lot of banks and websites force you to provide a phone number. I know. It's a problem. Sometimes, Deport TGV, sometimes you can go in after the fact and delete that phone number, just so you know. I've done it on some of my accounts. So if that's an option, you might want to do that. Because I think it's dangerous for them to have the phone number if they then try to use that for two-factor authentication, to help recover an account. So it just is mind-boggling to me that, as sophisticated as this society supposedly is, that SIM swapping would be a thing, that would be allowed. I mean, my God, how in the hell you let some random person call into the phone company and pretend they're you or whatever, whatever scam they do, and do a SIM swap? I mean, seems like there should be a way around that little problem. So I don't know, folks. I don't know. That's the beauty of Bitcoin, right? If you have your your private keys, that's it, man. Nobody can get to your Bitcoin, right? Now, if you lose your private keys or somebody gets them from you, you know, they pull your fingernails back, right? And they get you to give them your private keys, then of course they've got the Bitcoin, right? But no hacker is going to be able to, if you've got those private keys properly secured, no hacker is going to be able to get your Bitcoin, right? So at least there's that. That's pretty robust. Let's see. Cheetown says, Craig, what sort of accuracy did your 18238 keep? It was not bad. It was plus a couple seconds a week, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was pretty good. It really ran well. It's definitely a little bit fast. How do you feel about the two-tone 126233? Send me a photo to look at. We'll pull it up and we'll talk about it together. My email is my name, CraigShipp@gmail.com, CraigShipp@gmail.com. And that's how we do it here on the channel. Jaden's in the house. Craig, do you miss the 005 looking at any other GMTs? No, I really don't, because I wasn't wearing it. I was just sitting on the bench. So right now, I can get a closer shot to the stunner, and I don't have to fit two watches in the bench shot. So that's actually more convenient than having two watches side by side. So yeah, that's a good thing. And by the way, somebody the other day asked if I would wear that watch all the time. And I'll tell you what, I would really be tempted if somebody made a good offer on the 231 here, a good solid offer on the 231. What I think I would do, this would be a really radical plan, folks, really radical, is I think I would get a really high quality pair of eyeglass frames, maybe even 18 karat gold, and start wearing glasses all the time and get progressive lenses in them and get used to it, right? And do like Steve. I think Steve wears his glasses all the time. So in other words, pull away from, I'm living in denial right now, right? I only wear these cheap reading glasses, you know, when I'm reading your chat or whatever, working on the computer or whatever, right? And most of the time I'm not wearing any glasses, right? My distance vision is pretty good. Now when I drive, I do have a pair of Aviator style frame glasses I have two pairs in the car. One pair, they're both progressives, and one pair are the kind that get dark when you go out in the sun, and the other are straight up sunglasses all the time. They're tinted. And so I do wear those when I'm driving, right? So I know how progressives work, and they're not bad. And so if I went to the 002, if I was wearing that all the time, 24/7, well, I'd take it off when I was sleeping so that the strap would be able to breathe, right? I would do that. Okay, so let's say I was wearing that as my primary watch, and I had a real nice pair of eyeglass frames that match it, 18 karat yellow gold. Really cool looking, right? That might be a pretty radical move. What do you guys think? Would that be a really radical move? What do you think about that? I really love that watch. It's super comfortable on wrist. I really like it. So, there you go. Deport TG3, Craig, are the stories about Bitcoin whales being tortured for their keys real? I don't know, but I can imagine it could absolutely happen. Why wouldn't it happen? Yeah, I mean, if you're a Bitcoin whale, you've got to take security very seriously. I take security seriously anyway, for a whole lot of reasons. But if you're a Bitcoin whale, that's just one more reason to take your personal security very, very seriously. Absolutely. CraigShipp@gmail.com. There you go. Craig, did you ever own a C2 Corvette? No, I did not. No. Craig, if you could pick between the brown dial or silver dial GS Soko, which one would you choose? We talked about that the other day. I like them both. I'd probably go with the lighter, the silver dial, but they're both stunning. I probably would want to see them both in person and then make the final call and see them with the straps also, and then make the final call. But it's almost a coin flip. I mean, they're both really good-looking watches, I think. Corey's in the house. I have endured no tortures from any. I am with over 150 Bitcoins from many years back. I thought you had more than 115. I thought you had 15,000 Bitcoins. That's what I was told. You had 15,000 of them. I was told you were pretty much a Bitcoin billionaire. But maybe that was false information, Corey. Okay, yes, Craig, time to go all gold. How much does a nice pair of 18 karat gold frames cost? Folks, what do you think? How much are they? Let's see. I am with many coins over 1 decade, Craig. There you go. The 002 could be your one and done. Just throw it on a NATO. No, I love that deploying clasp. I love that deploying clasp. That kind of seals it, with the nice gold on the clasp and everything. I mean, that just gives it the right amount of leverage when you're in a power meeting, right? Let's see. Corey Wilson Jones, allow me an explanation. I volunteer for Skype with Clive and Blue Shirt Buddha. There you go. Imagine an 002 with a 9F movement for 15K less. So it'd be 10 grand? Well, yeah. I mean, that'd be a hell of a piece. Heck yeah. But I don't know that they'd bring it in at that price, that much cheaper. But yeah, it would be a really good move for them to do that. I agree wholeheartedly. And Lance is in the house. I would keep the 231. You need one watch that is rugged and has a screw-down crown. The 002 is a gorgeous watch, but it doesn't have all the features you would want in an everyday watch. 4K gold frames. So you're saying they're 4,000, Jaden? Ray-Ban sells a pair of 18 karat gold for around 2K. Okay, so there you go, 2K. It's not bad. That wouldn't be bad. I'd want to obviously get a pair that are going to hold up. I don't want to buy keep having to buy them. I want to buy a really nice pair of frames and then just keep having the lenses changed as needed, right? So if I'm going to get, a high-end 18 karat gold pair, I want them to be really nice and I want them to hold up, right? So I'd have to really check that out. Derek's in the house. Craig, are you planning a trip to the Rolex AD anytime soon? Hopefully not early, but mid next month, the middle of next month. Hopefully that's going to happen. Okay, I've had my eyes on. Okay, let's look at this email. And there's one that Jaden's had his eyes on. Let's take a look. Okay. All right. Yeah, those are just aviators. Those are straight up aviators. Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah. I would have to make sure that I could put the lenses that I need in them, that it would work. Fortunately, my prescription's not very powerful, so they don't have to be thick, really thick lenses. So that's cool. See, I wore aviators for years. I love those frames. Made in Japan. Cool. Cool. Absolutely. Super cool. Let's see. Craig, how many Dobermans, German Shepherds, Rottweilers, and Pit Bulls do you have guarding your property perimeter? Can't give the details on the security here, but it is extensive. And when somebody comes to visit, they need to allow at least an hour and a half to get through security. Several checkpoints, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Let's see. Let's see. I would look into titanium frames if you're looking for robustness. Yeah, but if I'm going with gold, it's got to match the gold stunner. It's got to match the gold stunner. So yeah, that's what we got to do. We missed you, Lamont. Okay. And so what I might need to do is I might need to go with, I do like these frames. I wore them for years, you know, it's typical Aviators. But I might need to get something that the frames are a little bit thicker, a little bit more, you know, gold to them so that they would be able to hold up a little bit better, right? So I might have to look at that. I had a client, actually they're still clients, but it's a husband and wife, and he used to run, it's called Visions, it's in downtown Frederick, it's an optical store, and he had a really nice pair of glasses that I think were 18 karat gold, and they looked really good. And so I want to, if I go this route, this is obviously a bold maneuver, very, very bold. I agree with you, Lance, this is a very bold maneuver. But if I do go this route, yeah, the glasses are going to have to look really pretty stunning, right? Because if I wear them all the time, right, they're going to have to look pretty stunning. So yeah. Sorry, I guess I should have shown you those bad boys a while ago. My dad's saying I don't got to work with this viruses. He's a lawyer, so we're good. Okay, good. Lamont, have you been introduced to Carlos and Lance? Let's see. Look around for those gold ray pans. I've seen them go from 1.5K to 8K, so the prices are all over the place. Yeah, but like I say, I think I might need a little more gold in my frames, a little bit heavier duty, if you will, for actual real everyday use. But I would check them out and see. I'd check out my options, right? The Port TGV, I have a pair of gold tone Ray-Ban Aviators that I don't wear because they make me feel kind of obnoxious. I plan on selling them off and getting some in black. I have, they're brass. And to tell you the truth, if you get the brass ones, they look good enough. I mean, they would be a close enough match to the watch, right? Just like a solid brass belt buckle, it goes okay with 18 karat yellow gold. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 18 karat gold, but yeah, it might be nice. Let's see. You need a solid gold pen too, Craig. Cross has one. Okay. My DuPont looks good enough. That gold goes good enough with. And again, I have to get a really nice pinky ring, you know, and 18 karat gold. So just a few little finishing touches. The faux pay bracelet, right, on this wrist, the faux pay, right, like Steve has. Just a few little touches to make the bold move. Don't meet Trashy Larry in a dark alley. There you go. But here's the thing: it would only happen if I did sell the 231. That would force me pretty much to go the whole 18 karat gold route, right? Right now I don't have to because I've got this to wear, right? When I'm not using the gold stunner, I have the 231 to wear. But if I didn't have the 231, then I would have to be all gold all the time. Gold cuff, yeah, absolutely gold cufflinks, absolutely, but not a necklace. I don't need a necklace because I'd have a tie on anyway, so you wouldn't see that. But yeah, I don't need the necklace, but definitely the gold cufflinks. Craig is the Mac Daddy of Frederick County. It looks like we're headed that way. Looks like we're headed that way. Just kind of run the whole freaking county, just kind of take over everything. All right, let's look at these tabs. Let's get some of these tabs closed out. We're going to leave the Ray-Bans up. We're going to close out the Omega. We'll close out the Prevo. And we'll close out that Gold Omega. We'll close out the Grand Seiko Stunner. We'll leave that one. Let's see, did I add this to my list? Yeah, I think I did. I'm gonna close that one. That was a nice option too. Ladies option. There's the Prevo showing the over-the-road AC. We'll leave that. What's this one? Oh, these are the shoes I was recommending for the Russell Moccasins. I was recommending for Carlos for his travels, but he didn't get a pair. So those would definitely be good for his travels. This one in particular, I recommended. Very, very comfortable for walking. Now, of course, these are custom made only, so it's going to take a couple months to get a pair, right? And I had said that I would try to order them with solid brass eyelets. Instead of those painted eyelets, I would try to get the solid brass eyelets. But that would be a good move there. Bison. Made of Bison. Okay. Not a bad price for a custom-made pair of high-end moccasin construction shoes. Okay. Craig the Mac, would you buy the 231 18-karat gold if they made one? No, because it'd be too heavy. It'd be too heavy. The beauty of the 002 is it's super comfortable on wrist. It's every bit as comfortable, if not more comfortable, than the 231. And that's saying something, because this 231 is comfortable. That 002 is insanely comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable watch I've ever had. The Day-Date was very, very comfortable. The 18238 Day-Date was very comfortable. And my Datejust with the Jubilee bracelet was very comfortable. But that 002, I think, trumps all of them. It's insanely comfortable. Never thought I'd say that. Never thought I'd be a strap guy, but that thing is insanely comfortable on wrist. So there's that. Megan's in the house early. Whoa. Jeepu says, Craig, do you grill? If so, charcoal or propane? I haven't lately, but I have some neighbors that do. And I prefer charcoal personally, but you can go either way. But I think charcoal is a good way to go. Craig, what is the best all-around shoe from Russell? Well, the one I just showed, I think would be pretty fantastic. I think it'd be pretty fantastic. It depends on what you're looking for, but I would just kind of peruse through all the stuff they've got. And remember, they will customize. They will, you can talk to them. So again, if you could get that unit right there that's pictured with solid brass eyelets, I think that would be super cool. And that's very reasonable. So what else would I recommend? Let's go. Let's look at new products here. They've got some new products here. Let's see. Alligator and American Bison Airship moccasins. Those would be cool to have around the house. Those would be super cool to have around the house, I would say. Those are a step up from my Town View moccasins. If I didn't have my Town View moccasins already, which I really like, I would be tempted by these bad boys. Talk about wearing those around the house, or even as driving moccasins, for driving. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's look. Let's see what else we got here. So let's look at. I'm assuming you want a shoe as opposed to a boot. So let's look at the shoes they've got here. We looked at these the other day. Yeah, see, I like this 3 eyelet unit that we just looked at. Now, see, this one has the brass eyelets. We'll look at that in a minute. Those camp shoes are kind of neat. If you want more like a boat shoe style, more like a slip-on, something you can easily slip on and off. These are pretty cool. I like those. Those would be could be cool. See, all of these you can get different soles on them. I would get this sole here probably. I like that sole. So, and you can get alligator / elephant. How much would that? What would that do to the price? $9.80. All of a sudden. So yeah. Yeah, those are solid. Those are solid. There it is in the alligator. Yeah, nobody would ask any questions if you wandered in with those. Those are pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility, and I'll tell you what, for custom made and lifetime quality shoes, I mean, every several years just send them back, have them resold, and just keep on getting up. I mean, they'll last you indefinitely. I like them. I'm a big fan of Russell Moccasins. Let's see, Port TGV Craig, are homeless people a problem in Frederick, Maryland? Here in California, they're making downtown a hassle, and they litter our parks. Not so bad yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if if it starts becoming a problem in downtown Frederick, but not so far yet. Sent an email of a nice lady's titanium GS. We'll look at that. Craig, are you a 100 air or 1,000 air? Yeah, well, we don't like to address personal finances on the channel, but Craig's health makes him a millionaire, and his impeccable taste for quality makes him a billionaire. There you go, Cheetown, California. All right. All right. Now, let's see. By the way, Bitcoin took a little bit of a dive. And the short-term thinkers are all panicking. They're all panicking. It's down to 11,341. You can tell the short-term thinkers on Bitcoin Twitter, because they all panic when Bitcoin takes a little dip, right? One person said, "Oh, I really want Bitcoin to go up." And I said, "Well, I guess you're finished buying, right? You're not buying any more Bitcoin? Because otherwise, why would you want the price to go up? If you're still buying and accumulating, you'd want the price to be lower, right?" Some of these people think backwards of the way they should think, right? I'm like, hey, if it took a really serious dip, I'd just grab some more. That's the way I would work that whole thing. Okay. Let's see. And Megan says, Craig is a millionaire with love from us. There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's look at this lady's titanium first. From Lance. This is from the Lancer. We'll look at this puppy. Oh, whoa. A little bit pricey. 18 karat with diamonds. Okay. I guess we got to do it this way. Okay, so pretty heavy-duty piece, though. It's interesting to see them making a robust piece like that for the ladies. I'm not sure I like the dial that much, though. I think I would have rather just had gold indices instead of those diamonds, but it is interesting. It is interesting. It's kind of cool to see. Kind of cool to see something a little bit radical like that from Grand Seiko. A little bit radical from Grand Seiko. Okay, these are from John Lobb. These are, these are probably going to be something. Give me a second here to bring this puppy up. There you go. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of of traditional loafers anymore. I sold, as you guys may know, I sold my my Gucci's, right? Because I just wasn't wearing them anymore. So I tend to, like, when I dress up and wear a suit or something, I tend to wear just regular lace-up shoes. And then when I'm casual, I tend to wear my moccasin style construction shoes from Russell or from some of these other companies. And I just find that these loafers are kind of like in between the two, right? They're kind of like in no man's land for me, to where if I'm dressing up, I want to wear just a nice lace-up dress shoe. And if I'm casual, I'd rather wear something like we were just looking at from Russell, right? So I just kind of don't go with the high-end loafers that are kind of in between, in my opinion. Lots of butt smooching today. No need to have a moderator. I'm a gamer. Okay. Kyle says, I really feel they screwed up the lugs on these new GS ladies' watches. Okay, I got you. Ghost Trooper, I'm trying to raise money for my dad. He has a lounge. You mean cancer? Oh, that would not be good. Okay, let's see. Deport TGV says, Bree needs a 3-piece combo meal deal, dress, diver, and GMT. So you think she needs 3 different watches, or a watch that can serve all 3 functions? That be the question. Oh man, it's almost been an hour? This must be the fastest hour in television. What do you guys think? You think this is the fastest hour in television? Let's look at the stunner on the bench there. Since we brought up Bree, let's go ahead and show her website. She comes in, you know, she's smart. She comes in and makes an appearance in the chat, and she knows I'm going to show her website for her. And, you know, then she goes about her business, right? She doesn't hang out for the whole show. She knows that even if she comes in briefly, I'll show her website. So she's kind of getting over on us a little bit. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Is the lovely Bree kind of getting over on us a little bit here? Let's see. Oh, lung. You mean lung? He's got lung cancer. Ooh, that's not good. That's very, very dicey. Very dicey situation. Yeah, that is dicey. And if it spreads into other areas, it can get really dicey real fast. Why would Bree need a GMT? Is she going somewhere? Good point. Good point. Jeepu. By the way, BreeFitDance.com is the website that we've got up on there. And she's got links to all her social media and all that good stuff. Watchbox provides us with company Gucci loafers and Armani suits. There you go, Tim Masso. You better start wearing some of them on the broadcast then. I would suggest that. Just a pro tip, Tim. So there you go. All right. Well, I think it's looking like we're going to be able to wrap up early. What do you think? You think we're going to be able to wrap up a little bit early and I can get to my dinner even earlier? What do you guys think about that? Let's see. Kyle says, Ghost Trooper, so sorry to hear that. We're praying for you. Yeah, the lung cancer is really a bad scene. It really is. Very, 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 very sad stuff there. And, you know, Rush is getting treated for it, right? Rush Limbaugh. So, and I think he had stage 4. I think he had the really bad deal. So we wish him and we wish anybody that's struggling with that to get through it, man. The good news is they are coming up with much better treatments these days. And that's the good news. They're making a lot of progress on treatments. So, okay, did Costco stock up on sweet potatoes? I will find out later this week. I'm going to go there again and see, but last time I was there, they didn't have any. They had none. I bought regular potatoes. I've been eating regular potatoes the last couple of weeks. They're okay. They're a good substitute. but sweet potatoes are a little bit more nutrition. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this puppy up. Let's get one more look at the stunner. And look at the light catching. It was just catching that second hand, showing a little bit of blue there for a moment. Pretty amazing. Pretty freaking amazing watch. So, yeah.